it doesn't mean that every single person that is continuing on in the organization is guilty of murder. I mean, I think we want answers, but we shouldn't be like, this person's definitely a murderer because they're not providing the answers.
Is she suggesting what I think she's suggesting? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another breaking video where I react to breaking news and viral moments. And this time we got to talk about Candace Owens, because the mega influencer and YouTube star who millions and millions of people are still tuning into, she's back and she's talking about the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk. And frankly, things are getting kind of unhinged. They're getting kind of kooky, kind of crazy. And she is now suggesting, or spreading at least, and promoting the notion that Turning Point USA may have killed Charlie Kirk in some kind of an inside job. We're going to take a look at the clip of Candace that's making the rounds. I did watch her full episode, so I know the context as well, and we'll talk about it. But first, guys, just remember my starting principle. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Not to say nothing crazy in the world has ever happened. Never happened. Not to say there are no conspiracy theories that are true. But before you go and spread something very serious and very grave, an allegation to millions of people, you better have some receipts. And, well, without further ado, let's take a look.
Another thing that I really do not like, and it is bothering me and is eating at me, is the fact that Turning Point will not release the footage, okay? I don't understand it. Every excuse that I have been handed for why they won't release it makes no sense to me. If you are under pressure, if people are starting to look at you funny as an organization, if they're thinking that, whether rightfully or wrongfully, if they are suspecting because they see this footage of someone quickly remove the SD cards, that you guys had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you quite literally have footage that in theory should vindicate yourself, why wouldn't you release it?
Okay, so just pausing here for some context, she's talking about the fact that after Charlie was shot, a TPUSA staffer went up and took out the SD card of a camera they had set up. There's footage from behind Charlie, I believe, that hasn't been released publicly. Now, the thing that Candace is not saying, and I don't understand why she's leaving this out of this, because she mentioned this in a previous episode, is that they showed her that footage. The person got on a call with her and showed her that footage. So she has seen that footage. They simply don't want it released publicly. They've turned it over to the FBI, to the police, the local police. They have that footage. She's seen that footage. She knows there's nothing in it, because surely if there was, she would tell us, that proves some big conspiracy or suggests it's an inside job from TPUSA. And yet she's, I don't know, casting these aspersions, saying rightly or wrongly, people are suggesting TPUSA may have killed Charlie. What do you mean? How are you presenting that as some people are saying, when you've seen the footage you're referencing and know that there's nothing in it, or surely you would tell us, to suggest such a thing? It's just the idea that people inside TPUSA would conspire to kill Charlie Kirk is such a, when he was such a beloved figure, and that is such a, there's no evidence of that. The FBI, the local police, no one has even suggested such a thing. It's such a bold claim that to even entertain it like this, you should have some sort of evidence, not just like wish casting about this mysterious footage that you've actually seen, by the way. And the fact they don't release it, I don't know. Maybe Charlie's widow doesn't want more footage of him being killed on the internet for her children to see one day. Like, I actually think it's pretty normal, or that people wouldn't want unnecessary extra footage of a murder to just be floating around for crazy people to dissect on the internet. That doesn't seem that suspicious or crazy to me. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a sheeple. Like, I'm just got the wool pulled over my eyes. I don't know.
Think about that. It's just in your own capacity. If somebody is saying you are guilty of anything, if they're like, Candace, you are absolutely guilty of breaking into my car, and I'm like, I have a camera right here that shows that I did not break into your car. Would it make sense if I was like, but I'm not going to release that?
Okay, but like, no, there's no serious allegation against TPUSA that they killed their own founder. That I understand that some crazy people on the internet are saying that, and I'm sure if they were to be charged with some sort of crime, they would show the footage in their defense. But it's like the idea that you have some obligation to preemptively release anything, even if the widow would prefer it to be private, because some crazy people on the internet are suggesting something insane, doesn't track to me. Like it's not the same thing as somebody accusing you of breaking them into your car. It's like I if you're a public figure, and Candace surely knows this, people are on there are going to be out there are going to be saying crazy stuff. And if you constantly responded to all of it and released all your private information constantly to debunk it, I mean, one, they would just find the people who are truly dedicated to that would just find a reason to still believe it. And then you're actually legitimizing to even respond to such an outlandish allegation in absence of any evidence or any serious credible person making it is actually drawing attention to it and sort of legitimizing it in a way where, of course, TPUSA wouldn't want to do that. I'm sure Candace has faced crazy accusations from people on the internet saying stuff about her that's not true and just ignored it, because sometimes that's the best course of action. I don't know.
I'm not going to release that because it's not right. It's not right for me to release. What? It makes no sense. I don't understand why they would not release this. The idea that it's because, well, the feds are saying the feds cannot arrest you. Last I checked, the feds cannot bring charges against you for releasing footage that you own. And since when do we trust the feds?
Well, the feds in this case are Kash Patel and the FBI from the Trump administration. So I don't know. I feel like MAGA conservative organization like TPUSA would not necessarily want to inherently distrust them. There's no reason to believe they would want to do anything other than get to the bottom of who actually killed their friend and a beloved Trump supporter inside the movement. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me that they would trust the feds and listen to the feds in this case. And regardless, there may be other reasons they don't want to release it, like the privacy and whatever maybe Erica Kirk's wishes may be. I don't know. Again, Candace does not mention that she's seen this footage. In a previous episode, she talked about how the guy called her and showed her the footage over like FaceTime or Zoom or something, and she got to see it for herself. So she's acting like there's some mysterious bombshell, but she would know, and she hasn't actually pointed that out. That it feels like a glaring omission to me, but maybe my brain's just not open enough to understand the Matrix or whatever.
Feds. Certainly Charlie didn't. He didn't believe we were getting the truth about the Epstein files and things of that nature. So I don't accept that.
I actually think that Charlie Kirk did trust and view favorably Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, the two people who are in charge of the FBI. And while he may have been unhappy with them not fully releasing the Epstein files like they said they were going to, which I think is a very legit critique because they promised that, I think he still viewed them as fundamentally people he would have trusted, actually. And I don't know that there's any reason to suggest he thought they were captured by the deep state cabal or whatever. I don't know.
That said, I also want to be clear that it doesn't mean that every single person that is continuing on in the organization is guilty of murder. I mean, I think we want answers, but we shouldn't be like, this person's definitely a murderer because they're not providing the answers.
What? She's like, well, not everyone involved in TPUSA is a murderer. Don't assume everyone is. What do you mean? We have no reason to believe that anyone in TPUSA is a murderer. What are, like, you skipped a couple steps there, babe. I don't even know how to engage with this. She's saying, guys, don't assume everybody that still works for TPUSA is a murderer. Why would we even for a second think anyone at TPUSA was involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk? Because they haven't released footage that you've seen that doesn't have any evidence of that? Like, Candace still has friends and knows people inside TPUSA, and yet she's casually suggesting, well, yeah, some of them might all be murderers, but not all, guys. Don't overgeneralize. What? I fear, and I have compassion for Candace because she lost a dear friend here, but that doesn't, and so it's I don't know, people process grief and trauma in different ways, and maybe this is part of her grief journey. But the part that makes it indefensible is that she's spreading this message to millions of people, and she is just casually flirting with and spreading such a grave and deadly serious accusation against TPUSA without any evidence or reason to believe any such thing. Like, it's really, really not okay to accuse people of potentially being involved in murder or suggesting, I don't know, maybe or not, maybe he was an inside job, when you just have absolutely nothing to go off of, and you're just using people's lack of revealing public footage of a murder publicly footage of a murder that's already on camera, that people are traumatized by the footage, not releasing more of it. And then you're saying, well, they won't release it because who knows what's in it, but you've literally seen it. Nothing about this makes sense. And it just, well, she's entitled to grieve in her own way. And maybe this is part of that. It's the use of her public platform that I just don't think is okay or acceptable or responsible, because you're spoon feeding these unsubstantiated theories to millions and millions of people. And some of them might believe it. And God forbid any of them act on it and do something horrible against TPUSA for like revenge against some of whom may be murderers. I don't know. It all feels like such a terrible way to respond to this tragedy. And there's also the element that she's like turning this into like a 15-part investigative series that she's doing ad reads on and getting millions and millions of views. And there's something about that just feels off and exploitative to me, like not some genuine search for the truth. This is all somehow about making it about her again, and how she's the only one willing to ask the tough questions or whatever. And I think this is a new low, and I really find it contemptible to be spreading conspiracy theories like this with no evidence at all. But that's just me. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Hit the like button, and let me know what you think of these short form, quick hit videos in the comments, because I do my full-length podcasts, the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, where I take on internet insanity, media craziness, and political chaos. The link to subscribe to that is in the description. But I'm also enjoying doing these shorter videos for you and bringing you kind of my live reaction as I discover new trending topics. Let me know if you're enjoying that. And guys, I like to criticize the left and the right, and I'm kind of an equal opportunist. But I would just actually like to say that if you enjoy the way I criticize both sides, please do consider becoming a channel member, because every time I criticize someone on the right, I lose a bunch of subscribers. The videos don't perform well. I don't make money. And if all I wanted to do was just succeed and make money, I would just mock woke people constantly. But I'm not going to do that. I'm honest and independent, and I'm going to call out BS on both sides. And if you want to support that, consider becoming a channel member. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and we'll talk again real soon.